Yes, guys, so we have finally made it. We are finally back again for the second reaction video I did on this here channel, guys. Of course, concerning the whole situation involving the peace talks between Guyana and Venezuela. And of course, they are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we believe that there is the Prime Minister of Guyana, Irfan Ali, if I have his name correct, has decided to give us an update on the whole situation right here. So we're going to get into the vibrations, guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And of course, hoping for the best right there in that regard. Anyways, guys, let us get into it right now.
Of course, was with CARICOM, the Guyana team with CARICOM. You want to go now? Yeah, you can start. Translation at the same time. So in the first phase of the meeting, we met with CARICOM. There, we reiterated our position. That is in relation to our land boundary. That matters before the ICJ.
So I'm guessing based on what we've seen right there, they have gone back to the ICJ to try to rectify the situation. This time, Venezuela definitely brought their argument, the evidence to showcase that what he's saying, based off of the land being owed to them, Venezuela is saying, hey, hold up, this is actually our land. We have the documents and everything. Remember, guys, I told you guys earlier on that Venezuela has been stating or has been trying to fight for this land since the 1800s. And it seems like, from the understanding of how humans treat certain things, if you constantly repeat over and over and over and realize that this is the norm, based off what the British did to the world, brothers and sisters, this has become Guyana's norm. And Guyana saying, well, this is our land, okay? And I guess they have to prove this, and I'm guessing they're going before the courts to see what has happened. Anyways,
there is absolutely no retreat.
So they're not planning to retreat
by Guyana in ensuring that this matter is determined by the ICJ and that the outcome of this matter at the ICJ be respected by all.
Well, I think he's saying that on the basis that they have actually ruled before. They have ruled before, and of course Guyana got to keep all the land that is claimed to be theirs, including the ESSEQUIBO regions. But if Venezuela is saying, but wait a while, that was our land back in the day. That was our land. You cannot have the right to say to say, you know, this is this. I want to see what the Venezuelan team or military would do after the talks. He's saying that whatever the ICJ rules should be thing. What if the ICJ rules, based on the new evidence or whatever that the Venezuelan people brought, that they finally get to admit, hey, that is true? Will Venezuela then concede the land over to Venezuela? So, you know, anyways, let's continue.
Also, CARICOM restated its position that has consistently recognized not only the 1899 award, but that the merits of the case in relation to the controversy must be determined by the ICJ, and the outcome of the ICJ must be respected by all. The second phase of the meeting was between CARICOM and the Venezuelan team. The third phase of the meeting.
So what was the outcome from that? We need to also get Venezuelan side there, because I mean, you only giving your side of the thing. I'm guessing probably you don't know what went on there. So hopefully we get to have some coverage from the Venezuelan team. That is probably why the Venezuelan team also brought in their individuals as well, their news reporters and journalists, so they can definitely cover and then showcase, hey, this is what went on. Because everybody seems to have their part, based off even them just even coming in. He stayed on the tarmac or at the Agile airport stating that the position is that is ours and that is going to stay ours. So the question here is, did you see the evidence on the Venezuelan side to say, okay, what you guys saying that makes sense, you know, what it makes sense? But I mean, if you know that your country is going to be getting a lot of money as a result of the newfound oil that, of course, is in the dispute right there. I actually got a map from a friend of mine who's a guy, well, not my cousin, and indicating that also Google Maps literally decided to cut out the part. It seems like Google Maps indicated that there's some conflict there, and they put the dotted lines. Interesting. Separating the part of the Essequibo region from Guyana. You can Google it yourself and you'll see the lines right there. That was interesting. But anyways, if that is actually their land, I think, you know, there should be some sort of thing. You just say no, because you're gonna get a set of money from it. If I own something and it was stolen from me, and that person who stole that thing from me is giving it to somebody else, and that person is then making a profit from it, should I then not fight for my thing? Especially if I'm saying this is my thing over and over and over, but for some reason it falls on deaf ears. And I know this is mine. You get my drift, guys. So this is a tricky situation right there.
La tercera fase de la reunión, which has just concluded,
que acaba de concluirse,
was the first face-to-face exchange
fue el primer intercambio de cara a cara
between President Maduro,
entre el presidente Maduro,
myself,
mi persona
and our team
y nuestro equipo,
in the presence of
en la presencia
CARICOM,
de CARICOM,
CELAC,
CELAC,
Brazil,
Brasil,
Dominica.
and the United Nations.
Oh, they forget Dominica. I actually have the photo of that, guys. Let me see if I can get it for you guys. They just forget Dominica. So yeah, this is the photo right there, guys. This is the photo. How can I make this thing? Yep. So this is actually the photo that he's talking about right there. Somebody asked me earlier, where was Starboy? The Trinidadians are calling SKERRIT Starboy now, because SKERRIT come and say nonsense on the podium. It was clueless to the question I was asked. Anyways, this is SKERRIT right there. I was asking about where is he? He's the head of CARICOM. Where is he? Well, apparently he must have reached late or something. And this is him right there. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
In that meeting,
en esa reunión,
I outlined once again
yo he esbozado nuevamente
Guyana's clear position.
la clara posición de Guyana,
That is,
lo que es
we are
que
a peace-abiding country and people.
somos un país y pueblo
We have no other
de
ambition
paz, y no tenemos otra ambición
than to pursue the peaceful coexistence
sino de proseguir la convivencia pacífica
with Venezuela
con Venezuela
and every country in this region.
y cada país de esta región.
I made it very clear
Yo aclaré muy bien
that Guyana
que Guyana
has all the right
tiene todo el derecho
to exercise its sovereign right
de ejercer su derecho soberano
within its territorial space
dentro de su espacio territorial
to approve of
y de aprobar
and facilitate any development,
y facilitar cualquier
any
desarrollo,
investment,
cualquier inversión,
any partnership,
cualquier sociedad,
any training,
cualquier comercio,
any collaboration,
cualquier colaboración,
any cooperation,
cualquier cooperación,
the issuing of any license,
el otorgamiento de cualquier licencia o permiso
and the granting of any concession
y el otorgamiento de cualquier concesión
within our territorial space
dentro de nuestro espacio territorial
and within our sovereign space.
y dentro
But like I said before, guys, if that is indeed the Guyanese people, and I agree with everything he's saying, on the basis that it is their land. But remember, like I said before, British screwed up everything. The British came and just screwed up everything. Everything. Now the question here is based on what I'm saying. The land that was pretty much the land throughout the Caribbean. Well, Africans used to travel to the Caribbean long before British came. Because there are literally different things. You can look at the Mayan structures. You will see that it's not just one set of people out there. The native people, there were also black people from Africa. The Africans used to travel there as well. So the question here is, if the native people were to say, hey guys, this is our land, you owe us our land back. They brought us, our ancestors from Africa and all sorts of places all over the world to the Caribbean. That is our land. Now on the basis of that, because I'm trying to bring it home, on the basis of that, can we then say it's true that is their land? But then again, they also have to prove that that is the land, and I think that is where Venezuela has the right above the rest. Because although they were all over the Caribbean, doesn't necessarily mean they had certain claims or who exactly has claims to the land. What Venezuela is saying is not just saying, oh, that person say, oh, that land is mine, and that person, that is where my ancestors was, and whatever. Venezuela is saying we have the claim to the land and we have proof. Guyana is saying we don't care about your proof. Based on what the British government gave us, they gave us this land. You know, remember, Guyana was formerly known as British Guyana. British Guyana came and screwed up everything and so forth and so forth. As a result of the independence of Guyana, it became Guyana. It's no longer British Guyana, but Guyana. And therefore, the claim that has been made based on what British gave to them would make sense. But initially, if it wasn't for British Guyana and the land was indeed Venezuela owned, I think there's a problem there. Should you give back to Caesar what is truly Caesar's own? If it is actually Venezuela owned? Interesting.
I made it clear that the controversy must be resolved at the ICJ. And we are unwavering and resolute in ensuring that Guyana's case is presented, defended, and that the ICJ will issue its decision on the merits of the case.
But like I said before, if the merits of the case and they saw the new evidence that Venezuela brings in, and they say, would you then concede it? Or would you then appeal it? Because you're saying all this as if it's based on your favor. Venezuela then has decided, hey, we're coming to bring our stuff, opening the talks. That's one of the things that Maduro was saying. Finally, some talks can be had to ensure that they know what is going on.
Which, of course, is binding on all the parties. I made it clear that the process leading to the ICJ is part of the Geneva Agreement.
As you say that there, I was wondering if Venezuela is under the ICJ. I was wondering that as well, but anyways.
Geneva Agreement
provides, talking about the Geneva,
for the UN Secretary General to determine with the controversy must be finally determined. And it is a UNSG acting within the confines of the Geneva Agreement who determined that that place is the ICJ.
So you just answered one of the things I was thinking of.
I want to say that we agreed with all the regional partners that the priority is peace, and that every threat.
No, guys, it's an interesting thing he's talking about peace there. I'm gonna get into that in a moment.
Of force or the use of force and that every party
y que cada parte
must take responsibility.
debe asumir la responsabilidad.
We made it very clear
Eso lo aclaramos muy bien.
that Guyana is not the aggressor.
Que
Obviously, it's not your land. Is not. No, guys. Let me break on something for you. Somebody steals your thing. They did the crime, just like the British came. They did some terrible things in the place, taking over people's lands and all those kind of things there, right? Somebody steals your stuff. They did you wrong by, and let's say they come into your house. They probably hurt your family member, took the lives of some of your family members. They took your stuff, or they forced you out of the house, brothers and sisters. They forced you out of the house. They did these atrocities to you. Years have gone by, and you saying that this house is yours. You're finally saying, hey guys, this house is mine. Nobody listen to me. You have more family members all over the place. They risen up, and they are ready to come and take the house. The person in the house is then saying that you should be diplomatic. Even though they took the house by force, they took the countries by force. They are saying that you should not fight, even though we fought to take your stuff that is rightfully yours. You are telling us that we need to be diplomatic and peaceful about it. No, that is something I never fully understood. Just like when the United States went through all this kind of crazy wars, destroying a set of people, the native individuals there, wiping thousands upon thousands, even millions of natives. The natives are making claim to the land, and certain times they would tell them, no, this is our land, this is the United States, that blah blah blah. We give you a little stuff in there, and so forth and so forth. Is it fair that when somebody comes to be the aggressor in the beginning, for you to then be the one who will be diplomatic in it? Kind of like apartheid in Africa, where they came and did some terrible things to black people. Terrible things to black folks. Took their land. Sometimes they even had horses. One of the ways they used to take land in Africa, they would put somebody, okay, that is your boundary right there. They would take a horse and they would ride that horse until the horse is tired. So until the horse is tired and it stops, then they will make claim to where the horse stopped. That's how they used to take land back in South Africa days, brothers and sisters, back in apartheid days. So you did all these things, you did these things to take people land and take it over. You're then telling the people that they need to work hard. They need to work hard to elevate themselves. Even though, just like slavery, you know, the world, certain areas, when I look at France and a number of places, they were built under slavery. And then they're telling the offsprings of the slaves that you should work harder to get where you need to get. Is it fair? Is it fair? So Venezuela is the aggressor because they're saying that this is their land. You guys will clearly not be the aggressor. And I understand that sentiment. Because from your perspective, remember, you got it from the British. Whatever the British did to Venezuela, that is the different thing there. But you got it from the British, so you make claim to it. So that is the important part that we look at, brothers and sisters. Somebody did you wrong, and then they want you to be diplomatic to get back the land, or work to get back that of which is yours. It's interesting.
El agresor.
Guyana is not seeking war,
Guyana no busca
Clearly.
la guerra,
but Guyana reserved the right to work with all our partners to ensure the defense of our country.
Pero Guyana reserva el derecho de trabajar
Obviously.
con sus socios para defender lo que es nuestro.
All our partnership is based
Toda nuestra sociedad se basa
on the defense
en la defensa
of our territorial integrity and our
de
sovereignty.
nuestra soberanía y la integridad territorial.
Given to you
So
by
as
the
we
British.
move forward
De manera que en la medida
in the
que
next phase of the meeting,
progresamos a la próxima fase de la reunión
and in keeping with the invitation,
y de acuerdo con la invitación,
we've sought to enable a process of dialogue.
que busco facilitar un proceso de diálogo.
But we're talking about having dialogue here, but it seems like irregardless of the dialogue, you guys are going to stay with your position. You're not willing to concede and say, oh, maybe it makes sense to you guys, you know, or Venezuela is going to say, hey, okay, I understand what you guys are saying. Maybe it makes sense. It seems like both parties are going to be keeping their sides, because from the moment he came, he said they're going to remain staunch in their pursuit to ensure that the Essequibo region remains Guyana. Venezuela saying the same thing. They bring their maps and everything like that. So that's a very, boy, I tell you.
On consequential issues, not on the issue before ICJ, on consequential
Sobre
issues.
asuntos consecuenciales, más no el asunto ante la CIJ,
That dialogue, the shape and form of that dialogue,
que la forma y la manera en que se va a
in
realizar
understanding of how we move forward,
determina y hace comprender cómo vamos a avanzar.
is the next phase of these meetings.
Constituye la próxima fase de estas
Well, we
reuniones.
want to see, do we? I myself,
Both
I also want to hear Venezuelan side here. I want to have Venezuela sit down there like that, and the translator translate to English for those of you who can understand Spanish. I think we need to have that side too.
parties
Ambas partes
committed
se comprometieron
to ensuring
en asegurar
the region remains
Peaceful.
a zone of peace.
que la región permanezca como una zona de paz.
You understand what I'm talking about, guys? If that land is actually indeed Venezuelans' land, truly, the British came, did all sorts of war and whatnot. Then afterwards, liberation, after slavery or whatever, they gave the land over to the Guyanese people. Is that something that is going to be looked at? Or will it continue from the British? Because if it's continuing from the British, Guyana definitely makes claim. But if it's beyond just the British, before the British invades, and they have right to say, hey, this is our land, and we have been fighting for our land. He actually made claim to 1899. I guess there's some sort of agreement that was making the indication, okay, that land will remain Guyana and so forth and so forth. Whatever it is, it's a tricky one, brothers and sisters. It's a tricky one.
Paz.
I made it very clear
Eso lo aclaré muy
that within the sovereign space of Guyana,
que dentro del espacio soberano de Guyana
we will continue
continuaremos
to do everything
a hacer todo
that promotes the
que
development,
promueva el desarrollo,
the advancement of our people,
el avance de nuestro
That's a good thing.
and all the partnerships necessary
y todas las necesarias
to
sociedades
ensure the defense and protection of what is ours.
para
But really and truly, if Venezuela decide to come in and say, hey, no, that is our land, whatever talks are there, we bring in one Guyana, then you bring in a set of individuals, know for sure, based off history, especially when the United States is involved, know for sure that oil reserves will no longer be Guyana's own. Because they will be like, we put our men at risk, we put a number of things, and therefore you owe us. You have to repay us. It's not for free we're doing these things. You understand? Or whichever country. I see Suriname is also there as well, and a number of military personnel coming to Guyana's aid. So it's an interesting one, brothers and sisters. Very interesting indeed.
asegurar la defensa y protección de lo nuestro
In accordance with international law.
de acuerdo con el derecho internacional.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Mr. President, what are some of the other issues that you hope to discuss with the Venezuelan?
We are now going to that phase.
But is there an agenda?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is an ongoing dialogue.
Este es un diálogo
It is open.
proceso abierto,
We dealt with three phases.
tratando este espacio.
One of the phase that we just dealt with was the outlining, clearly outlining our position.
Trazar muy claramente,
Now we are moving
muy claro.
to the next phase.
Y vamos a
I'm
la
not going to
próxima fase.
delve into that phase now in the media. That phase is now
Is that
ongoing.
going to be at the presidential level, or your foreign ministers will take up?
No, we're still at this meeting.
Oh,
Estamos todos bien.
We're still at this meeting. That's why I'm saying we are here up to where I have updated you on. That is where we are.
the next phase continues immediately.
Yes, that is what I just came to
Próximo fase
brief you.
inmediata.
Mr. President,
So, sir, are you prepared to
Looking
stay
at
as
long as it takes to have whatever it is resolved?
Well, I'm prepared, and we came here to, as Guyana has always said, we came here
To keep the
in the
position,
interest
pretty much.
of peace and stability for this region.
That's not what you guys came here. You came to reassure the individuals that your position is that, and you keep into your position. So if you keep into your position, even if you have not even completed the whole talks, the peace talks, but you keep into your position, that's what you're telling us, and Venezuela is keeping to their position, then what are going to happen? It's simple.
Guyana is not the aggressor. We have never threatened anyone.
That's obvious. We get that already, guys. Let me move
credit
on.
must go to all those who participated in the initiation of this process.
Sir, you said that both parties
Guys, I'll post this in the description so you guys can check it out.
me about the role of Brazil in this talk.
Well, Brazil is there as one of the facilitators. Brazil, as I said, Brazil is an important country in this region. Brazil has to provide leadership, honest leadership, and Celso is there, a very senior Brazilian official, and we are hoping that he will continue to provide that honest leadership.
So the Dominica Prime Minister has no say in this. The head of CARICOM has no say in this at all. Starboy, if you have no say, what are you doing there? What are you doing there, sir? You see the Irfan there? You see Maduro there? You see Gonzalez, where Miamotli here there. So what are you doing here? What anyways, guys. But we all know where Dominica sides already. Yeah. But what are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts on this whole thing right there? Like I said before, I'll post this link in the description so you guys can check it out.
Not the aggressor.
It's just repeating it. Okay, so the back to... Yeah, this is just... Okay, guys. You get the point right there. What are your thoughts, guys? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Hey, Peace Talk continues right there. Anyways, guys, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can get all the videos as they tend to come through. And of course, you will definitely... when I get the different videos and stuff, I will definitely put them out as well. Hopefully, we get to see Venezuelan side as well, what they have to see in that regard. Right there. Anyways, guys, be real, be positive. Give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that right there. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Be real, be positive.